Hey, Curious Connerys. Dylan here. We just want to give you a heads up that the following program contains conversation relating to topics that may or may not include physical and sexual assault and self-harm and mistreatment of different cultures. We are in no way condoning these things. But given that Sean Connery has acted in films going back many years, they've tended to come up. To spin a phrase from Disney, many of these films include negative depictions and or mistreatment of people or cultures that were certainly wrong then and are definitely wrong now. But rather than not discuss this content, we'd like to acknowledge its harmful impact, learn from it, and create conversation for a richer future. Stay curious, folks. And now, on to our show.
Connery Curious! Zardoz, Last Crusade, You Only Live Twice, and the Anderson Tapes, Murder on the Orient Express. You never know what the wheel's gonna spin next. Marty and a woman of straw, an older man in Africa. We are curious of the filmography of Sir Sean Connery.
We are now synced up, and we can begin the podcast whenever we please. Mario Lima.
Dylan Titus.
Hello, my friend.
How is it going?
Oh, well, we talked we talked about how it's going, and and I apparently still have shit in my throat.
Oh, no.
Anyway, how are you doing? Tell the people how you're doing.
I'm doing pretty good. I didn't eat any shit this week. Unlike Dylan here, who apparently eats shit. And now he's drinking shit.
No. Oh, excuse me. The food I ate earlier, it feels like it's just you know what I mean?
Yeah, I had a little bit of a spicy dinner myself. I had fried chicken tacos from a lovely local joint in Bristol here, Nacho Mamas, which I think there's also a location in Barrington. But they're really good. They kind of have it's like a modern. It's weird. They have like a lot of Portuguese kind of inspiration too. Like they have they have a Portuguese burrito, which is gigantic. And there's like French fries in it and like steak and a fried egg. And
oh my gosh, that sounds like a heart attack
waiting
to happen.
And it's huge. It's like comically huge. So shout out to Nacho Mamas. Not a sponsor of this podcast, but Nacho Mamas.
Oh, excuse me. Oof. Yes, I will have to try them sometime. Anyway, forgive me. The clearing of my throat took me out of it for a second. I'm Dylan Titus.
And I'm Mario Lima.
Welcome to the Connery Curious podcast, the podcast where every week we spin a wheel and that tells us which film we're going to watch next from the filmography of Sir Sean Connery. And we're doing this because we love James Bond, but it was time we broke free of the mold of James Bond and see what else these actors have to offer in their vast resumes. And we figured we'd start with the OG himself, Mr. Sean Connery.
And super vast so far. I think we've definitely had a pretty decent range here, and this is definitely another one that was kind of unexpected, I guess, of... I don't know. It was different. It was very different from definitely different from what we've seen in the past films.
Well, which film is that, Mario?
That would be A Good Man in Africa. 1994, a comedy drama film based on William Boyd's 1981 novel, A Good Man in Africa, and directed by Bruce Beresford. A film...
Beresford, I think?
Beresford? Beresford.
Beresford. Beresford, I think.
Yes, Beresfords. The film starred Colin Friels, Sean Connery, John Lithgow, which I forgot John was in this, Joanne Whalley, Diana Rigg, and Louis Gossett Jr. I'm like butchering names today. But,
that's okay. No, you got that one right.
But yeah,
you got all of them right. Actually, I think it's Colin Friels.
But yeah, definitely interesting to see a comedy drama with Connery's name on it.
This is our first comedy drama, I'd say, right? So to backtrack through our films, The Man Who Would Be King, First Night, Sword of the Valiant,
which was funny in its own way.
Yes. But those are all adventure films and action films. The Avengers, fantasy action, Action of the Tiger, action. Cuba, political thriller with an action scene at the end.
Yep.
Shalico, an action western.
Yeah.
So they've all pretty much been action films thus far. This is our first. Well, this film has action in it.
Yeah,
but this is our first comedy drama.
Yeah, and the action that's in it, Connery's not really involved with. I mean, we'll talk about at the end, but it was a pretty good film. I enjoyed it. We'll talk about reviews later on, but
we'll get more into it. Should we read the one paragraph provided on Wikipedia?
Yeah, one lone paragraph.
And what does IMDb give for a plot?
I'll say.
I'll read the wiki one. You get IMDb.
Got it.
All right. So the plot provided by Wikipedia is one short paragraph, which reads as such. Morgan Leafy, excuse me, I messed it up already. Morgan Leafy is a British diplomat living in Kinjanja, an African nation which has recently become independent from British rule. Arthur Fanshawe, a new diplomat eager to leave Africa, learns that Kinjanja sits on top of a huge oil reserve. Unfortunately, Morgan is too preoccupied with alcohol and women to know what to do with the oil. To make matters worse, a woman is struck by lightning on the British compound, creating a tense political situation with the Kinjanja government. That's it. That's the whole synopsis provided by Wikipedia, and I feel like a lot of it is... it leaves out a whole lot.
Yeah,
I mean, you could sum a lot of movies up into one paragraph, and they would leave out a lot. But this leaves out a lot of what goes on in this movie because this movie is less of a plot and more anecdotes.
Yeah. Well, this is the storyline from IMDb. Politics are already strained between English imperialists and the West African government of Kinjanja.
It's tough to pronounce because it's not real.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Let's see. When a womanizing British diplomat Morgan Leafy is caught in bed with Celia, wife of corrupt Kinjanjan presidential candidate Sam Adkunle, we're going to be butchering a lot of names on this show. As punishment, Leafy is forced into bribing an official who has voted down a project that stands to make Adkunle very rich. Leafy thinks he's gotten off easy until he learns the lone holdout is none other than Kinjanja's own brick wall of integrity, Dr. Alex Murray. Meanwhile, Leafy must also contend with his absurdly stuffy boss, Fanshawe, Fanshaw's lusty wife, Chloe, by the lovely Dame Diana Rigg, and their luscious, too friendly daughter.
All right, that is a better plot synopsis. And if the film was edited in that order, where he's caught in bed with the wife and then he's got something held over his head, that would be a better edit for the film. Should we just get right into this movie? There's no beating around the bush.
The bush,
which is one of the things that Colin Friels as Morgan Leafy. That's one of the things he loves about being in Africa is the bush.
Don't we all?
There were some good lines in this.
Yeah, I said earlier off camera here, I have a lot of quotes in my notes.
I've got quotes in my notes.
I have notes in my quotes.
I have a lot of notes as well.
Yeah, so we got a lot of that. And funny,
you want to start with your notes?
We'll start with yours because, like I said, mine was kind of quotes, and so I think you'll have better structured stuff. But I will mention, rated R. Came out in 1994, and
there's nudity in this movie.
Yes, and a runtime of 1:34. This might be our shortest film so far.
Yes, I feel like something may have been cut out of this. Yeah, it's definitely our shortest film thus far. It feels like a half hour was edited from this movie, or that they were struggling to make up the 90 minutes. I can't make heads or tails of it. Okay, I'm gonna tell you this, Mario. This is the only one of these films that I've watched twice
Oh, really? You watched it twice?
I watched it twice because I rented it from iTunes, which meant I had 48 hours from start of watch to end of rental. And I watched it twice. I watched it once the other day, and I had it on today while I was working. So I didn't entirely watch it the second time, but I needed to understand this movie, and I still don't. It's not hard to understand. It's pretty straightforward. But just some of the choices in this film. And okay, so part of on the wiki here and on the Wookiee, and I believe it's on the IMDb trivia. Of the production, director Bruce Beresford said in an interview with the website Vulture, "God, that was horrible. That was the worst film experience I ever had. It was cast wrong. The crew was all strange. We were filming in the wrong place. We filmed in South Africa. It was set in West Africa, which is like shooting in Alaska when it's set in New Orleans. And then I realized that although the novel that it's based on is terribly funny, it was very anecdotal. I had no narrative. I think on about the second day, I realized it was never going to work out because the scenes don't link. I thought, I'm sunk. I'm never going to get out." Now that is very fitting with the feel of this film. Would you say?
Yeah, like...
Would you say? Very British. John Lithgow. Oh, that was one of my notes. John Britgow.
John Britgow. I had in my notes that he reminded me of, probably butchering his name as well, David Toulis, who he played Lupin in the Harry Potter films. He reminded me of him, like the way he sounded, I think. And so I think a part of me, like even Alicia, who kind of walked in, I think I said that to her. I'm like, doesn't he kind of sound like Lupin? And she's like, yeah, I can see it. So I thought that was kind of funny. I didn't get that,
but
yeah,
I'll have to re-listen to it.
re-listen to it. Yeah, watch a David Toulis clip and then have him nearby. Because he's actually just in The Sandman, which is on Netflix, which has been pretty good so far. But
wait, Lithgow?
No, David Toulis.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, so going back to this with confusion, yeah, so like I think it's safe to say we can jump around with this film a little bit.
Yeah, because this film jumps around a little bit.
Yeah, so
I mean, it's straightforward, but it's also it jumps around for sure.
So I would like you to explain this to me to see if you understood it better than me.
Let me see what I can do.
All right, so
let me see if I can operate.
All right, so with what's her name? What was her name? The maid who got struck by lightning.
Innocence.
Oh
yeah. So the maid gets struck by lightning in this movie. Oh my god, that was insane.
If you watch the trailer for this, that's the first shot of the trailer is her with the face.
I noticed that.
Which set up the film for me, I think. But so explain.
I didn't watch the trailer beforehand.
I watched it after because I watched it. Which, by the way, I'll tell this quick story. Remember, we talked on the phone. I said I can't rent it on Amazon.
Yeah.
I went to go click on it. Blah blah blah. So I said, okay, I'll try to rent it on YouTube. And then I happened to go onto my Fire Stick this morning, or this afternoon, and just was gonna watch. I was gonna finish the Elvis documentary that I was talking about, and A Good Man Africa was on the front page there, and I clicked on it, and it said "Watch Now." So apparently, I had rented it either way, and it was waiting for me. So I watched it there.
And did it say that the rental period had begun?
Yeah, because it said he says because I guess they have a thing where you can keep it for a month or something if you don't watch it. But then once it starts, you got 48 hours.
Yeah.
So I was like, I
believe that's how the digital rentals work.
Yeah. So I was like, it's exciting. So I got to watch it on in my room, which is cool. But yeah, afterwards. But afterwards, they gave me the options. Like, you want to watch a trailer? I'm like, I just watched the movie, but sure, let's watch a trailer just to see if there were any clips that were like taken out of the film or something like that. But yeah, the first shot is it's the maid getting struck by lightning.
I didn't watch the trailer. Let me play this Just on mute.
Uh,
With low volume. Oh my God! It is the first shot.
It's the
Why would that?
Like that sets up the trailer. But yeah, so
That is a weird way to start that trailer, man.
it really
Especially
is.
because that. Okay, so for context, we hope you've watched this movie. By the way, please have watched this movie before you listen to this episode. I mean, it's not a requirement, but it'll really help to understand the weirdness that we're talking about here. Because I think of all the films that we've watched, this is definitely the weirdest. Like, Sword of the Valiant wasn't this weird. Though I do need to watch it again. Anyway, for context, there is a scene where it is raining. A maid walks outside with an umbrella and attempts to scurry across to a building across the street and is struck by lightning right at the entranceway of a driveway to this big government house. And it comes out of nowhere. Like, there's a lot of random stuff in this film, but it all makes sense. Like, it's like, okay, that could happen. Yeah, okay, that could happen. Okay, that could happen. And yeah, you could obviously be struck by lightning randomly. That's the universe. But this just happens in the middle of the movie, and I almost shouted, "What?"
I did.
And then Nicole walked by, and I'm like, "Wait a second, please watch this. Just, this happened, right?" And she was also absolutely blown away. It's very weird, but and the situation that it creates is weird. Should we elaborate on that?
So that's my question. So I want to see if you can understand this and you can explain it to me.
Yeah.
So why couldn't they move the body?
Okay, so all right, I'll jump ahead and then pull back. So he is seeing a woman. Our main character, Colin Friels, playing Morgan Leafy, is seeing a tap girl, as he calls it, named Hazel, who I think she might be my favorite character in the movie.
Her Yoda like talking just really
Right?
made me smile. We'll get to that though.
So he asks, "You don't believe in this juju kind of stuff, do you?" And she says, "Oh, no, I'm a modern girl. I don't believe in that nonsense." And he says, "Okay, what about Shango?" And she says, "Oh, no, don't fuck with Shango. He's the sky god. He will mess you up." So the local people believe in a sky god named Shango, or Shango, however you want to pronounce it. Not however you want to pronounce it. How it is pronounced. They pronounce it Shango. Excuse me. And they need to perform certain rites before the body can be moved. Certain funeral rites, and to do that, they have to pay a priest. And they don't have enough money to do that. And the problem being is this maid, her dead body is right at the entranceway of a government house. So one, it's blocking the cars, but it's also like right outside the window, and they're saying, "Oh, this royal person is going to be visiting this royal house, and we can't have this dead body outside of their window." I loved the Duchess of Ripon. That's who the royal is that's coming to visit. The Duchess of Ripon, 42nd in line for the throne. My knighthood is at stake. Anyway, I misquoted that. But I really liked that moment where John Lithgow might be the star of this movie, I think. he takes the cake for this movie. Hazel was my favorite character in this film, but John Lithgow is like hamming it up. Every day he's bringing the biggest ham sandwich to set and giving everybody a piece of it.
Oh man, I think I laughed the hardest. Again, we're skipping around, but at the end, when the angry mob is outside and they're all like, Fanshawe, all that, and And Leafy decides, I'll just go out dressed as you. They'll never tell the difference.
Oh, gosh, yes.
And you think, okay, they'll probably swap medals. I guess they don't have to really swap suits, but they decide to.
Well, honestly, they would need to swap suits. That's it.
Yeah.
Swap the suits.
And the medals. But they went a step further where they
swap the underwear.
Just to throw off the scent that much. They're like, oh, he's wearing Fanshaw's underwear. I could smell it from here. That must be him.
I wrote that as well. Why change underwear? What?
And the mustache. The fact that
drawn on with Sharpie.
You're going to need a mustache. I'm thinking, are they going to put a fake? Nope. They just drew a mustache on his face, and they said, you know what? Perfect.
That is like the most outlandish that the comedy gets in this movie, and it's really outlandish. Like it gets really outlandish. He blows up a car in a Santa suit, and then carries a dead body, and then hides in an old woman's shower. And that's not as outlandish as them trading underwear. like that. I mean, I'm talking in terms of scale. Like how far are we going in the comedy scale? Like how away from, how tethered with gravity are these jokes? And the underwear one is just like, okay, well, wouldn't it be funny if they traded underwear? Like, how does that? Like, yeah, but it's not. We're not making Airplane here. It's not The Naked Gun. You know what I mean?
It was.
Like, that's
it
those
was
levels
really.
of joke.
It was really Monty Python to me. I was like, wow, they're really going for it here, and it was funny, but it was just completely unnecessary, and it really kind of took me out a little bit of like.
I think when you said Monty Python, Lithgow is doing a very Monty Python performance.
Yes, it's very.
He's channeling all of them in one.
Yeah, very cliche English comedy. Cliche. Oh man, but yeah, that was funny. But like, yeah, okay. So let's
whittle away the cast.
Yeah, I would say let's get into the man we're here for, Mr.
Oh
Sean.
no, I was thinking let's whittle away all the cast and then talk about Connery at the end.
Okay, let's do that.
Because he's not the main character in this film.
Yeah, not at all. But when he's on screen, he is dynamite. But we'll
he
get
is
to
marketed as the main character of this film on the poster.
He's in the middle. Like it's like maybe it's like a seniority thing.
Notice who's not on? Well, actually, he's on there, but it's very tiny. He's in between the elephants. There's no elephants in this movie.
Yeah. Not at all.
Deep in the heart of Africa, the British practice bizarre rituals. They call it diplomacy.
All right, let's. I'm gonna start naming names. Let's talk about Diana Rigg, because we were excited about Diana Rigg, and she was not in this a ton, but
no, nor is she great in it.
Yeah,
she's horny. She's very horny in this movie.
And
she's very clear. She and John Lithgow are a couple, and she is clearly tired of him, and very attracted to our main character, Colin Friels, or Morgan Leafy, excuse me.
Leafy is like the ladies' man. He's like Roger Moore and Octopussy, where like everyone's just like, all the girls are just like fawning over him. This guy's just like killing it to the point where Diana Rigg is like hand down his pants, which I never thought I would see in my life. Is that
I want our loins to mingle. And yeah, I wrote this as a note as well. How does this clown get laid so much? Like, he's a clown. He's an absolute clown, and he's getting laid left and right. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's just
unless all the scenes of him being actually smooth were edited out. So, all right. Yeah, Diana Rigg. Great outfits. Consistently great outfits.
A lot of great outfits, I felt.
Yes. Diana Rigg is unnecessarily in the end action scene. We'll get to that. We'll get to it all. All right, keep going on the cast.
All right. So yeah, let's talk about Leafy himself, Colin Friels.
What'd you think of this guy?
I thought he was fine. I was just really trying to. It took me a while to like understand what his character was. And I'm trying to look at his filmography.
The only things I've seen him in are Dark Man and Dark City, and both of those I haven't seen in over 10 years. So
Yeah, because I don't think I. Oh, he was just in Interceptor. Apparently, that's on Netflix. Interesting. But yeah, I have not seen him in anything else. And yeah, I thought he was fine. Very, very goofy.
British Jason Bateman is what I wrote.
Yeah, he looks a lot like Bateman in this.
And some of his comedy styling, because he's kind of playing the straight man in some scenes, but then he's playing the doofus in others. And Bateman's good at both, but he's also really good at being the straight man. And when Friels here was being the straight man in the scenes, it reminded me of Jason Bateman. For example, I forget the setup, but our daughter was engaged to a young boy of the family Latimer Harvey. His father was a rear admiral. And Friels goes, "Would that be Rear Admiral Latimer Harvey?" And John Lithgow goes, "The very same." So it was just Friels playing straight man to Lithgow's idiot.
Yeah.
As well as the line, he did mention the possibility of an anal search when Lithgow and Diana Rigg arrive at the airport and are not allowed in, and they have to pay $50. 50 pounds.
Man.
50 pounds. I won't have it. It simply can't be done. And yeah, he's cheap as can be. It turns out it only costs 200 pounds to pay this priest to do these rites. And he's like, "Nope, I'm not using British tax money for this."
Oh, man.
So
Super
he's
frustrating.
an example of our bad man. Like, okay, so all right, some of the themes in this film were okay. Like, Morgan Leafy is not a good guy when we meet him. I liked this movie.
I think the biggest message really was from Connery himself was, him when Leafy goes to his house. You will get infected, which is that we got to talk about just how ironic that is.
What is it? Use a sheath.
Oh yeah, I have that in there. It says use a sheath.
Shake the dew off the lily. All right, so yes, Connery's message.
So yeah, like when Leafy goes to Murray's house, which I love his house, by the way. It's like a nice little quaint.
I love that half door.
Little cottage.
Who has a half door as your entryway door? I had one when I was a kid growing up. We had one in one of the bedrooms, which we used as an office. But as the entryway to your house, you're gonna have one of those half doors. Anyway,
super cool.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I wish we could go inside and see everything. I imagine it's like Bond's apartment, Live and Let Die. That's just what I thought.
Dude,
in my
I was
head.
thinking the exact same thing. Yep.
That's all I thought of. But yeah,
with the floor that goes down.
Yeah, and the very expensive cappuccino machine.
Is that all it does?
Like,
so yes, what is his message in that scene?
So it's basically like I'm paraphrasing, but it's kind of like get to know where you live.
Exactly. Yes.
And like that was kind of his that was like his thing, and like we get that in jumping around again, the whole like golf scene, which I love that golf scene. And
that is choice number 1 for my Kennet 007 is the golf scene.
Ooh, really? Okay.
Okay. Also, while we're on the golf scene, I want to show you this piece of music here.
Okay.
This is the piece of music that is playing during the golf scene, and this must be the theme song for A Good Man in Africa, which will make this our second film with a theme song. So go ahead and listen to that.
Wonderful game, golf.
Yes, you must try it sometime.
A good man in Africa knows what's good for me and you. You better be good.
man in Africa. I love that.
Knows what's good for me and you. You better be good. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that and speaking of music, Murray kind of had his own little theme song himself.
Yes,
Which-
it was a couple of note theme.
Yeah, which is what, unfortunately, at the end, when we'll skip to that, I guess, of like the ambulance accident, and when he gets
Yeah.
out, when you hear the theme, right away I said,
No.
"Oh no, there's no way. Why is Murray there?" And then, yeah, so spoilers: Murray dies.
Passes. in this
Yeah,
film.
and so
Sure. All right, let's keep working through our. Oh, you know what? On Colin Friels as Morgan Leafy. So Leafy starts off as a scumbag that is very involved in his job. He just wants to do his job and get his promotion and get out of Africa. He hates it here, and he's just sleeping with this tap girl, as he calls it. And he has a house and he's renting an apartment for this woman to stay in. And he's very ignorant of the culture, and through his job, this is a decent story here. He's trying to he works for the British government, and they have commissioned him to sweet talk this president who seems like he's going to be a dictator, because there's oil reserves in the country and they want the oil. And if they're in good with this president, excuse me, then it'll all be good for them governmental wise. And he, through his experiences and interactions with Sean Connery's Dr. Alex Murray, he realizes that he's being an asshole. He's on the wrong side of things. And there's a genuine transformation of a character. Its execution leaves a lot to be desired. But
yeah, it's really, we talked about it before, how like Connery's not the main character here, but his character is so necessary to help. He is the Yoda of this film.
he is the outside force that pushes our characters
Yeah,
transform.
absolutely.
There's a good movie in here.
I think so. I think so too.
Clearly, because I watched it twice. I'm sorry again. I have to Connor pee.
We'll cut. Or
You want to cut?
yeah, we'll cut. But yeah, let's dip into a couple more cast members. I do have my heart in my in my notes in my heart of notes. Friday
Notes of my
heart.
Yeah, Friday's great.
I love Friday. I love that opening. Can I also have in my long list of quotes, umbrella.
I have that same thing written down when he's just shouting umbrella from his car.
And Friday's just
and he goes-
knocked out in the living room. Just
and he wakes him up so rudely.
yeah.
And he's like, I tell you every day that I put an umbrella in the back seat of your car. Poor Friday, putting up with so much shit.
Yeah, Friday's the real MVP of this film, in my opinion. I love Friday.
I agree. Friday and Kojo
Yes.
carry a lot of weight physically
Yes.
by carrying a dead body. Well, my note right under umbrella is racism.
Mm.
This film is full of casual excuse me. Casual British racism. It's just all over it. The government feels superior. There's even a beautiful interaction between Gossett Jr. as Professor Sam Adekunle and Morgan Leafy. Excuse me. I do not know what's going on with me today. Where Lou Gossett says, you must think so little of us. And he goes, yes. I mean, only in terms of, like, and he just keeps saying the wrong things. It's just, they're just there to, quote unquote, do their jobs, get oil for the British government. Like, they're not caring about the people at all. And Connery has been there for 23 years and is so gentlemanly and kind and gets what's going on. He gets the Shango stuff. Has been helping people he's been there for 23 years, he says. Yeah. Lou Gossett Jr. as Professor Sam Adekunle. I liked him. He was really good and sassy.
Very sassy.
That was one of my notes. LG Jr. is all sass. I feel like I'm browsing too much through my notes. Should we go in order of our notes? Because if you wrote quotes down, then you wrote them down in order that you heard them, right?
Yeah, so I did that. Only because I'm looking at my umbrella note. I also wrote, I figure I'll mention it now. I wrote Good Man Africa, a Christmas movie, question mark.
Okay, let's talk about this. This is our second film that involves a revolution in a country with in a country not of mainly white population, in which a white country feels it has some sort of stake at Christmas time. This is our second one. There was Cuba, and now this one. That's crazy.
And also where Connery has a mustache.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
He also has a mustache.
Maybe it's Robert Dapes. He moved to a different country after his experiences in Cuba. He's like, I'm going to Kinjanja.
There it is. And then
I'm done being a mercenary. I'm going to help people. I'm done helping governments overthrow revolutions. Now I'm going to help the people overthrow the governments by keeping them healthy.
We're opening the Connery multiverse of madness.
Oh my God. What have we uncovered here, dude?
This could be it.
Because we just see Robert Dapes get on a plane. We don't know what he does after that. He's disillusioned with his job. Good Lord, dude. You are blowing my mind right now.
This is it. This is... Can I mention, speaking of the golf scene, I love the fact that he wants to retire to Portugal.
Right? That was really sweet.
Being of Portuguese descendants here, I love that. I was like, oh, that'd be so cool to see him in Portugal, because we missed that on that. And of course, we always talk about Bond in Her Majesty's Secret Service. That could have been Sean Connery in Portugal.
Well, all right. One question: does Bond ever go to Portugal?
Only in Her Majesty's.
Is that's Tracy's party, right?
Yeah, I think it's what
at the horse.
I think they
at the bullfight.
Yeah,
right.
And do they get married in Portugal?
I don't remember.
I got to rewatch, but I do remember distinctively that they went to Portugal, and I was like, that's so cool to see Portugal in a Bond movie. And I think Portugal's mentioned. Well, Portugal's mentioned in Man with the Golden Gun, because the gun maker is the Portuguese, I believe is his name.
Yes.
So there's a couple of Portuguese references in Bond, which is cool. But yeah, I love that Connery wants to, because that's what's so cool about him, where Leafy asks, like, "Oh, don't you
retire?
Yeah, like, don't go back to Scotland?" He's like, "No, I think I like to go to Portugal." Like, he's a traveling man. He wants to experience different things, and he's so into
he's
culture.
He's been there before, and he likes that the best.
Yeah, so he's a man of culture, and he's so like, that's one downside, is I want to see more of him, because he's so fascinating of a character, and he was just so cool, and it seemed like such an interesting person. But yeah, so I love that. Little shout out to Portugal and Africa.
And another Bond connection that we talked about before, that this is the first film that Sean Connery and Diana Rigg were in together. They would have been in a film together had Connery taken on Majesty's.
True.
They don't share any scenes in this movie.
Yeah, I was disappointed about that.
So technically, they've never been on film together.
Yeah, that we know of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of. I was like, well, we're so close. We're this close, but
they're not even. They're in one scene where it's at the Christmas scene where he is fully dressed as Santa, and he runs out to ask if Connery would like to play golf with him. In which we also see that he has a son named Will. I wonder if that let's check IMDb. Is that Connery's actual son?
I was wondering that myself.
But in that scene, Diana Rigg is in the house, but not. They never interact. Will. Nope. It doesn't say any cast member for Will. I wonder if that was really his son. Let's go. We'll have to go through the trivia section. But that would be very interesting if it was. If anyone knows who that was playing Will in that film, let us know, because he doesn't seem to get a credit here.
It might be him. Do you have a picture of that scene?
No.
Let's see. I'll have to go. I still have the rental, so after this, I'm going to go back and dig it up.
Do some research for us.
I'm curious. Connery curious.
Right,
but so I think we covered the cast. I think let's get to the man.
There's a couple other ones we need to cover. John Lithgow as Arthur Fanshawe. Yes. Diana Rigg as his wife Chloe. Lou Gossett Jr. as the professor, a presidential candidate, Adekunle. His wife is played by Joanne Whalley, who at the time was Joanne Whalley Kilmer, married to Val Kilmer at the time. Sarah Jane Fenton as Priscilla, the daughter of Arthur and Chloe Fanshawe. And Maynard Aziash as Leafy. As Friday, Leafy's assistant.
I don't know why I kept getting Priscilla and Celia mixed up for some reason. They look
same.
They look kind of similar. Like I understand. Like
I'm sure he was too with all the action he was getting.
Yeah, so I was kind of like, because after the whole debacle with his diagnosis and the failed attempt to make Whoopi. And then when I saw her back afterwards, I'm like, wait, they're still talking? I'm like, wait, no, different actor. Reel it back here. So I kept getting them mixed up. Funny.
Well, I think we've gotten through the cast now. So shall we go in order of our notes?
Yeah, I think let's talk about the entrance of Sean Connery. We
start with focusing on Morgan Leafy waking up with Hazel. Oh, it doesn't give the who plays Hazel. Because I got to be honest, Hazel was my favorite character in this movie. I said that already, but let me find out who plays Hazel. Jackie Mofokeng. She was great.
She was.
And she has been in 2 films. This and Pistorius in 2018 as herself.
Oh.
Huh. A feature documentary about the South African Paralympic and Olympic sprinter Oscar Pistorius, who shot and killed his girlfriend in the early hours of Valentine's Day 2013. Oh, my.
Dark.
Yeah, oh, my. Anyway, so he wakes up in bed with her, and he's just remarking at how it sucks here. The beer is good, and his prostitute is good. Sex worker is the term.
And the water is very poopy there.
Oh, it's terrible. But he sees a cockroach in the sink, and he goes to crush it with his bare hand. Ugh. If you know the water is that gross, don't make your hands any dirtier than they need to be. And by that logic, it's in the sink. Just put a little water on it. It'll go down the drain.
Yeah.
And so we don't get Connery yet. He gets Morgan Leafy gets to his office, and he criticizes. Is it Friday or is it Kojo?
Kojo.
It's Kojo. He criticizes Kojo for putting up Christmas decorations, and then his coworker reminds him, "Oh, you got to be at the airport," and he covers himself by being racist and going, I'm just compensating for the African flight times or something like that. And then it's a very good physical gag of him rushing to get his coat and then slowing down as his assistant comes back in. That was very good physical comedy.
In my notes, I wrote down Ebenezer Leafy because he's very Scrooge-like in this.
Very miserly
and
Scrooge-esque. Yes, you are correct. And then he is rushing out of the building and instructs his driver to rush faster. And the guy's like, we're pulling out onto a street we probably shouldn't. He's like, just do it! and they almost collide with. Now our entrance is
Dr. Alex Murray,
played by Sean Connery,
which gives us our first of many Connery quotes. Where I
hit us with it.
where I quote, "You dozy bastard, you're very lucky you're not mincemeat."
I like that.
And
he says minced. He's like that meat is minced.
Minced meat.
Yeah.
And then I also hit our very first reference of the title of the film, where they ask, "Who is that?" And he says,
like that.
"He's a very good man."
Yeah.
And
well, because he knows that he's Alex. He's like, "Good Lord, that's Dr. Alex Murray." And the driver says, "A very good man. Saul Goodman."
Very. All right.
That now, see, that's you know what? Can we do that as a video edit? Put Saul Goodman in Africa.
Saul Goodman in Africa. Yes. I'm into that. Just get the poster of him in the desert and just put 2 elephants next to him. And
yes,
then,
exactly.
And then you're all good.
All right. My next note: John Lithgow Hart. I really like John Lithgow in this film. He was delightful. And he's as they're being given shit at the airport, Leafy runs in to ease their situation, and he goes, "Just give him the money." He did mention the possibility of an anal search. That was funny. Then the umbrella racism. Yep, we covered that. My next note: Lou Gossett Jr. falling asleep during the British film. Because it's really boring. It's like the Queen's birthday. We have a parade, and the corgis are trotted out, and he's just falling asleep. I like
Shout
that.
out to
and
the
John
Queen.
Lithgow was sitting there all proud,
Oh yeah.
proud of his country.
And that's when you get Celia. I almost got mixed up
his
again.
wife.
Where she mentions that, I'm not British anymore, which is true because she had to she gave up her British citizenship
to be with this guy.
Which
I don't know how that would work. I'm not
yeah,
aware of
I didn't know that was a thing that you had to give up. You can't have dual citizenship. Like maybe it was different back then. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I found that kind of weird.
Yeah, it was definitely weird. But so she starts flirting with Leafy, with her ultimate goal being he can get me a passport back to England. But it's ultimately revealed over a few rendezvous. Okay. What is with that waterfall scene? Lithgow says, "Take my daughter out, show her the sights," and they're just making out in front of a waterfall.
And he obviously has no idea how to take a bra off, or it was really a
Yes.
bra. Was that a bathing suit?
But still,
Yeah.
you can see the clasp. It's very easy. You're like, I could do that with one hand, blindfolded.
He was trying to rip it up. Like, have some respect. For God's sakes, you probably paid a lot of money for that lovely
also,
bathing
you
suit.
just ask her to do it.
Yeah, and they got lazy.
if you
did
have-
the whole thing with the strap. And I'm like, man,
Yeah.
this guy's been around all these different women, and he can't do that. That was just, that's a little sus
But-
to me.
The way it's shot is so brightly lit and colorful, and it's so weirdly shot.
Was that green screened?
It didn't feel like it.
I was wondering myself. I was like, this looks like on location, but it could be a set. I was like, I wasn't sure.
Okay, but talking about well-filmed things, strangely, the best filmed thing in the whole film, the best shot sequence is his pee pain. You know what I'm talking about?
The pee pain.
So he wakes up one night with pain when he urinates and discharge, as he says. And it is shot incredibly well. They've got cameras on Riggs, following him as he moves, and some really interesting, if this was a short film presented in college, it would get all the top grades. You know what I mean?
You should have watched this in New England Tech to get some ideas.
Exactly. See how they shoot him waking up having to pee, and then see how the film see how the shot choice emphasizes the pain as he urinates. Like, yeah, that's really cool, but why is nothing else in the film shot with any interest? Like, there's one shot where Lou Gossett puts Leafy up against the car, and he's threatening him. He's like, you shouldn't be sleeping with my wife. And the shot is framed where Lithgow is looking off to the left, and his head is all the way to the left, and it's just like the roof of his garage all the way to the right. So it's just a big empty space. It looks really interesting. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Some interesting shots in this film, but the most interesting one, the only interestingly shot sequence is the urinary pain sequence.
So cinematography was Andres. I can't say these fucking names. Andres Bartkowski.
You know what? I'm gonna put that into Google and see how we say that.
It looks like he's done. He did cinematography for Twins. Speed, Good Man Africa, both in the same year. Dante's Peak, Lethal Weapon 4.
I like Dante's Peak.
Gray Lady.
Andrei Bartkowiak.
That sounds better. Andale?
Andrei. Like Andre, but with a... Andrei Bartkowiak.
That sounds better, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah. Forgive my butchering of that, folks.
And he directed Romeo Must Die, Exit Wounds, Cradle to the Grave, Doom, Street Fighter, The Legend of Chun-Li, Maximum Impact, and Dead Reckoning.
So all quality films.
The highest quality.
I haven't seen any of them, but I'm aware of their reputations.
Oh, yeah.
So he goes to the doctor the next day. Leafy goes to the doctor.
What a piece of shit. He literally
bypasses a line. Honestly, it's a bit of an emergency. It's a bit embarrassing. Is it your eyes? What? Did you not see the queue of 150 people that you skipped? That was really good. Connery is all sass in this film.
Super sassy. I love it.
He's in, like, time-wise, I'd say he's like in a quarter of this film.
Yeah.
But he's influential on the story 100%.
Yeah, he's there. He was there, in my opinion. He really picked up the story when, there were some times I was kind of nodding off. And then when Connor came back on screen, okay, I'm up. And he would push the story along. So he was, I feel like he was in there. I would like to see him more, but I think he was there the right amount of time.
Yes, I agree. I would have liked a little bit more of him as well.
I want more backstory. I just want more backstory on Alex Murray. And
was he Robert Dapes? Well, that's why we don't get backstory, because he was Robert Dapes.
That's it. We have the backstory already. We have a whole.
Yeah, we made it. Yeah, we don't need more.
We know.
You're good, Bruce Beresford. You don't need to revisit this. So
this whole
Connery,
whole scene is the best. I wish Sean Connery was my doctor.
Yeah, he's actually very comforting as a doctor.
Yeah, and he's just like,
and he puts up with Leafy's bullshit. He's like, fine, I'll see you now. But he doesn't say it like a scumbag. He's just like, okay, what's wrong? He's like, I'll let you slide this once, you know. And then in the next time Leafy comes to the doctor, he waits.
Yeah.
Because he's getting better as a man. But yeah, I really like this scene. I do have a couple of notes on it. Shake the dew off the lily, use a sheath. He doesn't wear gloves or wash after inspecting a penis. And then he grabs a jar on a shelf next to other jars. And he just touched a man's penis that has gonorrhea. He's pretty sure.
Does he touch it?
Yes. Yes, I watched that. I watched that scene. Only I know that. Yeah, that sounds really weird, but I had to make sure. I'm like, he's not wearing gloves. I had to pull it back. Yep, he's definitely not wearing gloves.
Which I am sure I told you before off screen. I want this scene edited into the People music video. very.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And then at the end,
and it starts where he's dismissing the little child first,
Yeah.
which he doesn't wash his hands before that.
yeah,
Or after that, he's helping. This kid doesn't have a shirt on, and he's like touching his back and doesn't bother to wash his hands. So a good man, but maybe not a good doctor.
not good at hygiene.
He would not last during COVID.
Yeah.
Like, all right, doc, we are suing. He scratched his butt. Well, I'm honored that you think that it would pair well with my music video.
I
Thank
thought,
you.
and maybe the last, what is it like? If you can't let your balls bleed for a week, you should have a woman fucking you.
If you can't sit there bleeding from your balls for a week, you don't deserve any woman fucking you.
I think you should cut that out.
Even I can't remember.
I think you should just cut it out and just put use a sheath.
If you dip your wick, you're gonna get infected.
Which is so. This really shows how much Connery has grown from not practicing safe sex to like now he's just like telling people to practice safe sex
and ban on alcohol and sex. Your two favorite activities.
Yeah, too many. He was saying too many free radicals.
Right.
How the tables have turned.
And also for context, Mario is referencing
Never say never
shameless
again.
self-promotion. That as well, but my music video, "People," the vasectomy song.
Yeah, so please go check that out on YouTube, and then we'll probably post my edit of it on.
He made a beautiful edit of it involving Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yeah, well, that'll be up on the Instagram. You know what? I think we'll post that on the Instagram early, just because I like it so much.
Why not? Let's do it.
So thanks for the shout out there. I appreciate it.
You got it, brother.
What else? I do like that transition. There's a scene transition. It could have been edited better, but it goes from Connery holding a jar of urine to a rally where Leafy is holding a full cup of like amber beer. But it's not edited in the right way. It should go from Connery holding the pee to Leafy holding the beer. That would be the perfect edit.
Yeah.
Where he's being told not to drink. He's being told not to drink. Oh no, not yet. He's not yet being told not to drink.
Right.
But it would either way it would be foreshadowing, and it would be a nice edit.
Mm.
So.
It's very reminiscent of. I feel like that's something that happened in like Austin Powers or something, like a cut like that.
Oh, okay. You know what we could edit into the same scene? The fight from Never Say Never Again, where he throws his own urine to win the fight. Yes. So we edit Leafy giving the jar of urine to Murray, and then Bond throws it back at another guy. We'll make the edit work.
You could do a couple of like Alex Murray versus Bond in this, where you could do like the P from Never Say Never Again, and you could also have him golf against himself.
Yeah,
because when he does the putt and like at the end of the green and hits it in, I was waiting.
If that's my ball.
Yeah,
if that's his ball.
I was just waiting for a gold bar to like hit the green, and then the ball would veer off to the left. I wish he like.
We'll do some edits.
I wish he would at least have worn like the same like burgundy sweater as like a small callback. That would have been fun.
I think the golf scene may have been enough of a callback.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like he's golfed in a few of these movies so far, hasn't he? Or at least has.
He had croquet in the Avengers.
Croquet, that's what it is.
Yes. Now, I'm sorry to say this again, but I have to Connor P.
We'll cut. I feel like Connery has some great outfits. I do love his golfing
Yes.
attire in this.
He looks dapper in every scene.
His kind of main attire is like the fedora with the sort of gray like safari vest.
Oh my God, is this an Under the Fedora crossover?
Oh, under the Connery fedora. There we go. This is
Oh man, we should have had Tess on for this one.
there we go. Shout out to Under the Fedora, a fine podcast in itself.
Well, thank you, sir. And shout out to friggin' nerds.
Oh, shucks. But anyways, but yes, phenomenal outfits. Even I loved Leafy's 3-piece suit towards the end before he switches underwear with
Yes.
with
Yes, he looks spiffy. He is a handsome man, I will say. I get why women are sleeping with him as a handsome man, but he's a goof in this movie.
yeah, like that one side. We had like one side profile of him talking at the end, and you get a shot of like his hair and all that, almost Pierce Brosnan-esque.
Yeah.
You know, very Bond.
Kind of like sits between Pierce Brosnan, Jason Bateman, and Hugh Grant.
Like the Hugh Grant I could see. Yes. You gotta wonder because John Lithgow, number one, thought he was great, but do you think there were other casting choices?
I think Lithgow was the right choice for this. I gotta say.
I'm just curious if there were other ones.
He's hamming it up. Okay, around this time, 94. Cleese. It would have been Cleese. Because he's actually British. And you know what? I'm willing to bet they reached out to Cleese and couldn't get him.
Yeah, because like in 94, because Lithgow, he's doing Ricochet in 91 with Denzel. Third Rock from the Sun is happening.
Yeah.
So I could understand why there was not a ton.
Maybe give him a vacation and a decent paycheck.
Yeah, because there weren't a ton of huge names. It's really Connery, Lithgow, and Diana Rigg. Because Colin, I haven't seen in anything
Gossett Jr.
else.
was pretty big at the time.
What was he in?
Maybe not big, but he definitely working.
He was in The Watchmen. Okay. 2019's Watchmen.
Oh yeah, yes, he was in that. But in terms of at the time, Iron Eagle 3, Flashfire, maybe not a lot at the time. Yeah. The Punisher from 89. So yeah, he wasn't big, but he was a working actor for sure.
He was in Toy Soldiers too. Not to be confused with Small Soldiers, which was a great film for the night.
What else was Joanne Whaley in? That was Phil Hartman's final film. Oh, Joanne Whaley or Wally. Her first role is in The Wall. Pink Floyd's The Wall as a groupie.
As a groupie, first thing. Let's see.
I haven't seen her in much else. I have not seen her in anything else.
Yeah, the rest of this idea.
Certainly an accomplished actress. Oh, she's Sister Maggie in Daredevil season 3.
Oh.
Okay, I've seen her in that.
Okay, now I see it.
Mama Devil.
Now I see it. Wow. Okay. Holy shit.
And she's in the new Willow series.
Oh shit. Yeah, she's been at least she's been watching that. She's been liking it. And
Well, keep an eye out for her.
Yeah, jeez. And she was in Gossip Girl. We talk a lot about Gossip Girl on the Friggin' Nerds channel.
I have not seen that. I've seen plenty of Gilmore Girls, but
I keep hearing about Gossip Girl. Like people are like, you should watch it. You should watch it. I'm like, maybe one
I've heard
day.
it's good.
Yeah, I keep hearing a lot of good things about it. So we'll try that.
Quick aside, I brought up Gilmore Girls. Have you watched Gilmore Girls?
I have not.
Okay. If you watch like any episode from season 1 of Gilmore Girls, my theory, you'll get what I'm talking about here. My theory is that Gilmore Girls is connected to Buffy the Vampire Slayer via Supernatural.
Really?
That's my theory.
What years are all those shows? Are those like close together? It's pretty close together, aren't they?
Relatively. Late 90s, early 2000s. But Jared Padalecki is in... Hold on. I gotta get this facts right. Okay, so he's in Gilmore Girls as Dean. Okay, he doesn't play... He plays Sam Winchester, not Dean Winchester. Oh, man. They couldn't cast him also as another Dean. But so what happened? So he plays Dean in Gilmore Girls. Dean Forrester. And he comes in and out of Rory Gilmore's life. But I like to imagine that he swaps names with his long-lost brother and then he and their long-lost father go hunt creatures and monsters, which would mean that Stars Hollow is right down the street from whatever town Buffy's show takes place in.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, I'm totally wrong on that. I'm just a casual observer of these shows, but that's a theory I like to operate by.
Hey, why not? You enjoy things how you want to enjoy them.
Yeah, the same way I imagine Godfather 3 exists in its own universe. So, what else we got?
Let's see.
Give me another quote. I'll give you another quote if you give me another quote.
All right. All right. We'll talk about Leafy runs into Dr. Murray again, and
okay. All right. Well, the quote I was going to give you is literally right before that.
Okay.
He's dancing with Priscilla, and she's like, "Let's go back to your place and have a drink." I'll go. My quote is, "I'll just go powder my nose." And then he does the dumbest, like, I'm getting laid victory dance with the goofiest face.
Yeah.
And then he goes back inside to wait for her. And now we pick up where you started.
Yes. So he runs into Dr. Murray, who is like putting up
an informational poster to increase the health of the locals. Like look out for this animal or something, or stay vaccinated against what this animal carries or something like that.
Yeah, which I thought was...
It's something informative and helpful.
It was either that or he was putting up a poster for his band. To check out my band. Playing at the local... What's the bar to go to at the end?
Okay. Friday's Friend. I didn't write down the name of the bar, but you brought up a band playing. So there is a band playing at that moment. Okay. What the band playing while he's doing his getting laid dance, I wrote. Music, music, sounds of Africa. Music, music, I love Africa. I didn't record the audio of it, so that's me singing it, but that is the whole
That's basically what it is.
Song. Music, music, Africa. Music, music, I love Africa.
You could tell that they definitely saved some money on music in this movie, where they're kind of like, let's just sing a song about...
Music?
Yeah, to sing a song about Africa. They're like, music, Africa. Yeah, that sounds good.
Sounds of Africa.
Perfect.
Give me one more. I love Africa. Perfect. Cut it. Cut the record.
Can you add one with the title of the film? Yes. A good man in
Africa knows what's good for me and you. I'm just doing the voice from the song.
Yes. So we got the informational poster. Leafy says, "Hey, how you doing, Dr. Murray? I'm feeling a lot better." And Dr. Murray goes, "Well, I guess you didn't get my note." And says,
"That was good.
It was, I guess it was."
I was wrong about it being non-gonococcal.
The way he says gonococcal.
Non-gonococcal. Oh, that's excellent news. I'm sorry, Doc. You can't win them all. No. It is gonococcal. You have an unfamiliar bacillus.
It was so weird to hear him talk with like
free radicals.
There's too many free radicals, too many gonococcals.
That's great.
So while I was down there inspecting your cockle, it turns out it's gonna cockle.
It's been burned. I love the quote. What's to go first? The nostrils? I hear those. I lose those first. Or my sanity. There were some good lines in this. Man.
So many.
This
good
would have made
ones.
a great play.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch this as a play.
Yeah, I wonder if they ever did that. I feel like maybe, because the novel,
we'll look it up.
yeah, because the novel
afterwards.
came out in the '80s, and then this comes out a decade after. So, the only way to go is make it a musical. They should make it a musical.
music, sounds of Africa, and it gets the whole crowd going, and you're like, yeah, dude, you go to Broadway to hear Memory all alone in the moonlight. Like, you go for that. All right? And now you go to the next theater. We're making a family trip. We're putting money. I'm saving up all year for this. You, me, the kids, we're all going. We're going to go see A Good Man in Africa, the musical. And kids, wait until you see. When the song hits, it's going to blow your mind. How's it go, Mom? Music, sounds of Africa. Music, I love Africa. Okay, are there any other parts? No.
That's all you need.
But the whole crowd sings it. Not in the movie, in the musical that we've made up here.
Yeah, they're very easy words to remember.
But it really would make a good play, I think.
I think so.
Especially at somewhere like the GAM Theater. Shout out to the GAM Theater. This would make a really good play. In like you could make it all like one or two you could make it one set doubling as like two locations. You really wouldn't need much. You would just need an outdoor set and an indoor set.
I think we do this. I think my motto, at least for this year, is when there's something you want and it doesn't exist, make it yourself. Okay. Nobody had nobody analyzes all these Sean Connery films, and we're doing it. We just said, hey, that'd be a cool podcast, and you said, let's do it. Okay, and here we are.
Yeah, same thing with my sister's podcast. She was just talking to me about Michael Jackson. I'm like, she is really passionate. You should just do a podcast. And she's like, okay, let's start right now.
If I give any of your listeners advice, just keep, for those, I know people who struggle with content creation and burnout and they don't know what to do and they're like, no one's watching me. Just keep making stuff. Keep making stuff, and it's going to get out there.
Let it make you happy.
You got to make the stuff for you. Yes, you're making stuff for other people to listen to, but make it for you. Me and Dylan are doing this because we like Sean Connery and we have such a passion for the James Bond films, but we want to know more about the man himself. And we're going through his career. We're just doing, we've had some great listeners so far. People have been supporting. We're watching the numbers.
Genuinely, thank you to all of you out there that have been supporting us and enjoying the podcast and just. Not even enjoying, just listening. You could hate the podcast, but the very fact that you clicked on it, thank you. Genuinely.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's like as long as you're happy making the thing, it's like, that should be more important. It's like
make it for you and for even if you only make a couple people happy that you know of. Like Mario, you sent me your video about the Superior Spider-Man. I love it. It's great. Make it for the people that love it.
Yeah, and there's people out there that surprisingly that's been a receptive video. People have been like, yes, I'm glad someone else is talking about this. I'm like, you know about the book too? Cool, let's talk about the book. And
you will find your niche somewhere. Niche. You will find your niche somewhere. Just keep talking about it. Keep being passionate about it, and you'll find some. For lack of a better metaphor, some hole for your peg. You know what I mean? Like yeah, that metaphor, you're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. Well, keep moving it around the board. There's guaranteed to be a square hole around there somewhere.
Exactly.
So
There it is. Hopefully we give you guys a little bit of inspiration while we talk about the man, Sean Connery.
yeah.
Which...
And also, by no means did I mean that as an insult to anybody's creation or our own creations or anything. Like, no pressure to... Don't force yourself to create.
Yeah, don't burn yourself out. But if you're like passionate about it and you're like, I want to make it, make it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like...
Let it make you happy. While you make it, let it make you.
Precisely. And if you're not happy with it, just stop. You know, no one's stopping you. No one's telling you what to do. Just do what you're your own boss. You do what you want to do.
And if you're not happy with it, just don't show other people and make another. Just make another and make another until you make one that you're happy with, that you could show other people, and you'd be happy with that. You know? A lot of people I know that they get down on, they make a song, they write a song, and it's not great, and they get down on themselves about it. And it's like, no, don't get down on yourself. Write another song. Just keep writing. You're guaranteed to find one that you like enough that you are confident enough to promote. And along that whole time, you've been creating things that guaranteed other people are going to find along the road. And they go, oh, wow, look at this thing that was published 3 months ago. And it's got like 5 views. Oh, my God, this is really quality. I got to share this with people. You know, you never know where the breadcrumbs that you've left are going to, or the seeds that you've dropped. You never know where the seeds that you've dropped behind you are going to take root.
Precisely.
So,
see, little hidden gems in these shows, man. Little hidden gems. But I think to get back, I want to hit you guys with another quote. Is no, the opposite of yes.
I wrote that as well.
I think it's
the opposite of yes.
The opposite of yes, which is, I think that's my favorite. I think that's one of my top 3 favorite Connery quotes of this film.
I agree. Oh my gosh, I didn't mean to interrupt you as you were saying it. Oh, I just got so excited because I wrote that one as well. Dude, we wrote all the same quotes here. It seems
the same mind.
That was great. As he's so. Innocence, the maid, has been struck by lightning, and Friels goes to his. He doesn't know what to do. He is confused by this Shango nonsense to him. I'm not calling it nonsense. To him, it's nonsense. And he goes to Connery, and he says, you have a right as a doctor to do this. And Connery goes, no. And Friels goes, what do you mean, no? And he goes, the opposite of yes.
We get a couple good quotes from this. We get that quote, and we get, usually you call a doctor when the patient is still alive.
The patient's alive. Yeah. And what about the Hippocratic Oath?
And then
you stupid Scotsman, and then he gets Connery. We get the jungle drums to say the predator is pissed.
Which I have the quote here. I quote, "I'll rip your tongue out, you little English shit."
Yeah, that was actually pretty terrifying. He grabs him and just hucks him through
puts him in the tree, like a small tree or bush, and just he hulks out a little bit. I'm into it because he's
that was a good moment.
I mean, although he hulks out the minute you see him. That was the thing. I was wondering if they're going to play into that, like his anger, because he kind of had this like weird underlying kind of like rash anger thing, where like he really flipped out at times, but then he's very calm in the doctor's office. You're waiting for him to like really flip out in the doctor's office, but he's very calm, like you mentioned. He's like, "Yeah, I'll take care of you," blah blah blah. But like those 2 times, he flips his lid, and it's.
Well, do you notice who the only character he gets angry at?
Oh yeah, it's always Leafy.
It's always Leafy. He is kind to everyone else because everyone else is kind to him. They wait in line in the queue. They treat him with respect. And he just bursts in and goes, I got an emergency. I'm government and my pee hurts. It's like, okay, I guess fuck all those other people out there then. So yeah, Connor, and I do like, if you listen to, I don't have to listen to you. Yes, you do. Because if you do, you don't ever have to see me again. And that's worth more than money in the bank. Perish the thought.
Oh, so many good lines.
So yes, I do like when. We don't have any trick here. I don't, unless maybe we'll stumble upon it. But I wrote the old Connery cock block because that's what he does. He goes, "It's not gonna lot. It is gonna cockle. You must abstain from. You have an unfamiliar bacillus. You must abstain from sex and alcohol. Your two favorite activities." And this is as he's waiting for this woman Priscilla to get back from the bathroom. And they're gonna go home and do it, and then I have another. They get back to his house, and there's a giant fake moon in the sky, and Priscilla goes, "Look at that moon, Africa, Africa."
That's no moon.
It's a space station. And it's very clearly a fake moon. And then I know this is 1994. And I don't know because I was 2 at the time, I don't know what the dialogue around such things would have been. But man, just be honest about STDs. Just be honest about it. Just be like, look, we can make out tonight. And I get his argument is good of like, I think we should get to know each other more. But it's how he approaches the situation by panicking completely and just being sketchy as fuck. Just talk about STDs, man. Be open and honest with it. And you probably would have gotten a little bit of action that night if you just been straightforward. It'd be like, okay, then what can we do right now? Because I'm having a good time with you. She is clearly hot for him.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm tired of dancing. Let's go back to your place for drinks. And she gets there and she starts stripping down. So and then she reaches into his pants, and that's when he fully panics. But he should have been 5 moves ahead of this and gone, like, I just want to let you know. Like, right as she said that, like, let's go back to your place for drinks. He should have just said, I just want to let you know I saw the doctor earlier this week. And, just letting you know. We're here in Africa for a while. We don't need to do this right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a part of me understands just the panic. Like when you panic about situations like that, you're kind of like, a million things are going through your mind. It's like, if I say this, she's gonna think I'm a fucking like sleaze.
But she ends up she ends the scene with like, I don't hate you, I just pity you, and like lightning crashes to indicate how mean she's being. But it's like you could have just been honest from the get go.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. I mean, well, it clearly was. Hey. But it could have just, no matter how desperate for action you are, if you've got something like that, you need to share it.
Yeah.
Or even if it's just a slight worry, you need to share that. And you need to be open and honest, especially with how around this guy is getting. He's got Hazel, he's got Priscilla, and he's got Celia. And then he's got Chloe.
Cool.
4 women in this movie. He doesn't bed Chloe in the film, but it's implied that he does afterwards for sure.
Oh, yeah. Actually, so we were just talking about Connery and Dinah Rigg not being in the scene. Wasn't she in the area when we get to the ambulance accident? And she hover?
She stays in the car.
She's in the car. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did not.
In fact, as he's walking back to the car, he goes, "Chloe, I almost forgot about her."
Oh, that's right. Okay, shit. God damn.
I finally something up. It only took a man dying for me to get my mind off of sex.
Oh man.
But isn't that true for all of us?
Oh, badly. Let's talk about Christmas. Let's talk about this Santa Claus scene, which I kept thinking, oh shit, this takes place in Christmas. This is when I came to the realization. My note here: A Good Man in Africa, also a Christmas film. Interesting.
A Good Man in Christmas.
Good Man in Christmas.
Yeah, another Christmas, like as we said before, another Christmas film where it's a country, where a white country feels it has claim to that country, and they're undergoing a revolution at Christmas time. How weird is that?
It's really weird.
And even weirder, in between this and Cuba, I watched The Godfather Part 2, which has the Cuban Revolution, the same 1958 New Year's Revolution.
That's it. Holy shit. It's all coming together. It's a sign.
Because Corleone and Hyman Roth are going down there to make deals in Havana, and then it all goes to shit, and that's right as Michael finds out that he realizes that Fredo is the one that betrayed him, and gives him the kiss. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, the classic.
Yeah. And that's when everything starts going to hell and they get out of there. But Michael's still like, Fredo, come with me. Seriously, we're getting out of here alive. I'm not going to do anything to you right now.
And so Sonny would have lived if he had Easy Pass.
Oh, man.
Too soon?
Oh.
Too soon.
Too soon. He would have lived if he had acted rationally.
Mm.
And the first time that Connie experienced what she experienced,
Yeah.
he said, okay, you and the kids are coming to live with me. But a part of those films that gets cut out is that one of Vito's strong beliefs is that you don't interfere in your children's marriages.
Mm.
So that's why Sonny's cheating on his wife to no punishment. Connie is experiencing abuse to no punishment to Carlo. Like, there's no intervention, and Fredo is, like, just a loose cannon, wild child, probably sleeping with everyone. Like, his first appearance in the movie is he's drunk and he tries to kiss Kay, because every kiss begins with Kay.
It's almost like you planned that.
Almost. So it and like even Mo Green later in the movie is like, Fredo's banging cocktail waitresses left and right. So it's implied that the only one that's responsible with women is Michael. So Vito does not interfere with his children's relationships. So if that had been an aspect that Vito instilled in his children, then maybe at that time Sonny would have just been like, okay, we're getting you out of this house at the very least.
Mm.
Instead of going and kicking the shit out of Carlo, which is ultimately why Carlo betrays him. That's why Carlo sells out to Barzini and betrays Sonny, is because he was humiliated in the street. Sonny kicked the shit out of him in the street in front of all his people.
Mm.
So
I gotta read that.
Oh, it's so perfect.
Welcome to Corleone Curious. But yeah, so I have in my notes here, going back to Christmas, the whole
Christmas Jones.
The whole snatch the body, return the body. Sorry, return the bodies, and
so the snatching of the body is done before Christmas.
Right.
And I have one note on that real quick. The Undertaker shows up, and Leafy goes, "Okay, now fine. They'll see through your Shango bullshit, and they'll just take the body." And the Undertaker gets out, and everyone goes, "Shango, Shango!" And the Undertaker's like, "Fuck this, I'm out." That Undertaker looked like Tyler the Creator.
He did.
Tyler the Undertaker.
Tyler Creator's great grandfather.
Seriously, look up that scene. He really looked like Tyler the Creator. If you still have the rental, take a picture, take a screenshot of it. It really looks like Tyler the Creator. like a music video that he would make. Like, all right, I'm an Undertaker. That's my Tyler the Creator impression. And my nuts are swinging.
I do love that last record he did.
Igor?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's
that's a really
good
record. But okay, so yeah, in my notes here, the whole return of the body sets the car on fire, busts his face open, and then we get a scene straight out of Big Mama's House 1 where he's
okay. Should we set this all up?
I guess, yeah.
Backtrack. So he and Friday steal the body.
Yes.
And Friday's like, I don't want to do this. I'd rather die than upset Shango. And he's like, you're gonna do this, or I'll kill you or something. He like makes some weird racist threat. Anyway, they steal the body from its spot and hide it in a car out in the woods, in like a car graveyard where there's a bunch of wrecked cars. And as a result of that, none of the staff will work because they're all paranoid about Shango has made the body disappear and whatnot. So now Leafy has to get the body back. and he is dressed as Santa at this Christmas party at the house, and afterwards he is getting drunk because he's depressed that this is where his life has taken him. And as he's drunk, he's like, fuck it, I'm going to go get that body back. And he does so. He's still in his Santa outfit, and he goes out in the woods, and he picks another car, douses it in gasoline, and tries to light it on fire, which causes an explosion, which ruins his, like, Santa outfit and his face. Not ruins it, but it's all burnt up. And scarred. You know what I'm talking about. Movie makeup. And so that causes a distraction. He grabs the body and runs it back to the spot. Everyone has left the spot to go check out what that explosion was. And he runs back hauling the dead body, which previously took 2 people to carry, but now he's drunk, so I guess he's stronger.
The drunker he gets, the stronger he gets.
And he just splats the body right back down in the same spot. And he runs inside this massive house. Massive. To hide. Massive house. And the only place he can think to hide is in a bedroom that's already occupied. How did he get in there? He just enters a bathroom with one entrance. And then the Duchess of Ripon, 42nd in line to the throne, this old woman enters. We hear the old lady pee, which is delightful.
A lot of pee
Sarcasm.
A lot of pee scenes in this movie, and a lot of ass. We see a lot of ass shots.
Yeah, we see her ass too. What's the deal with that? Oh my God. It's like The Shining. Again, I'm not shaming this woman, but it's like, it really is like The Shining. It's like old saggy butts. Again, not body shaming, but it's like, why?
But
Anyway.
I wanted so the whole reveal opens the shower curtain, sees
Yeah,
it,
he's hiding in the shower.
and it just kind of ends with no consequence, and then we.
What did I write? Good evening, Duchess. I won't tell anyone if you won't.
Yeah, so that kind of ends.
It just ends. He's walking
But
out.
then later on, we get a call back to that scene where they're at the party, and
Have we met before?
it's like, I feel like you may have had a beard. So
People look so different with beards.
I took that as she just knows that's him, and it's like, it's our little secret, or is she really that, like?
I took it as it
confused.
was our little secret, and you're just such a desirable man that I'll accept it.
Yeah, okay. So I think
Because he's played as such a player the whole movie. You know what I mean? He's turning everyone on.
yeah, because
All right, so go back to the Christmas thing. When he's trying on the Santa suit in front of Diana Rigg, he has to take the pants off, and there's this music like a cowbell plays because Diana Rigg can't keep her eyes off his junk. But also, it doesn't set up like, okay, when it finally cuts to the other side, his junk is obscured. He's wearing shorts. He's wearing underwear, but his junk is obscured by a chair. So I'm not sure. And he looks down and he goes, ugh. So I don't know what the joke is. Is his junk out? Is he hard?
I'm thinking, it was hard, and it probably came out through the little fly, and that's what maybe he. I don't remember if he adjusted himself. But I took it as like it was kind of. It made that noise too.
Diana Rigg falls in love with him during that scene.
Which is
Also, when you said that, I'm going to take The Godfather, because the introduction to Sonny's wife really is her, like, gloating about how big Sonny's penis is. Because she goes, like, she's sitting with all her girlfriends. She goes, like, aw, and keeps making her hands bigger. And I'll add that noise in. And then she looks back and sees that he's going off to fuck Lucy Mancini. Bastard. What a bastard.
Bastard. But man, what a problem to have that Diana Rigg is into you. Come on now.
Right.
What a problem to have.
Yeah, she's a... Oh, my note on that. Dirty Diana Rigg.
Another Under Fedora crossover.
Yeah. Hi, Tess. Yeah, she's a horny devil in this movie. Then I wrote British Jason Bateman. Hazel's great. LG Jr. is all sass. Oh, there's a voiceover throughout this whole movie. I didn't like it.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
It was like the Blade Runner voiceover, where it didn't need to be there. The movie would be perfectly fine without it.
Yeah, because it's not in the film a ton, but I feel like it was kind of like, this is where I'm like, they either cut stuff out or like missing footage or something. But I feel like that voiceover was just there to kind of help the scene through. It just
Patch things.
Yeah, it didn't feel right in the. It was okay at the end, I guess.
Okay, so when it showed up at the end and it starts raining, all I could think of was Blade Runner and Shawshank. Both Blade Runner and like tears in the rain, and then I don't know why he had said the things that he said. Like, whatever, Harrison Ford ruins the beautiful speech by Rutger Hauer. And then I also thought of Andy Dufresne climbed to freedom through 900 yards of shit. Or whatever it was.
I thought of Back to the Future 2 when...
Oh, yeah.
When
Marty McFly?
Yeah, Doc Brown gets hit by the lightning with the DeLorean, goes back to 1885, and like, Marty McFly, I got something for you. It's a letter. And like, you think he's going to shoot him or something?
That is such a good setup.
It is.
Man, that is such a good setup for a third
before
film.
its time. And they give you the trailer at the end.
Yeah.
Like one of the first times a trailer was given right at the end of the movie because they shot them like back to back.
Yeah.
And I was like, man.
I need to rewatch
these. They're so good.
Every time, literally every single time I've watched any of the Back to the Future films, I'm eating a pizza.
Because of Back to the Future 2, the rehydrated pizza?
Yes. Well, not because of that, but like circumstantially.
This happens to be a pizza.
Like the first time I ever saw Back to the Future, I was eating a pizza. And then just circumstantially every single time afterwards. It's like, they're family movies, so like you watch them in like family Friday nights kind of. I haven't watched them since I was in high school, so.
Remind me after we record, we can cut this out. Show you all my Back to the Future stuff because I like collect stuff over the years. They're awesome stuff.
Why would we cut this out?
I guess we keep it in. It's an audio podcast. I don't know. I don't want to be like, hey, look at my sports almanac or whatever.
That's okay. Do you have
No,
one?
I don't. I did.
No.
I have the license plate. I have the out of time license plate.
Oh, that's
and
dope.
then fuck it. You know what? We're here.
Yeah, show me.
Oh, that's a water bottle. So I got this.
Dope.
Out of time.
Dope.
License plate. So for 2015, it was the exact day, which was the exact date was, what was it? November, October? I forgot what the exact date was. October 22nd, 2015, which is the day before Marty goes to the future, when Doc goes back and says, you gotta come back with me. So US Today actually printed the actual newspaper, and it's the whole thing is like there's an actual paper like a couple pages in, but they have like the whole you jailed Martin McFly Jr. arrested for theft. The whole story is here. Cholesterol may be a cancer cure. There's all the article from the movie, and they
that's awesome.
And they have an article, Hollywood to remake a match made in space, which is the book that Marty's dad writes at the end of the movie.
Oh my god!
Like the attention to detail. So yeah, the Hill Valley edition. So like I gotta get this framed. It's still in really good condition because I haven't really touched it.
Are all the pages in there?
Yeah, everything.
Or are there real news in there? Is there real news in there?
So yeah, so the first 2 pages here are all like there's
Jaws 7 or whatever.
there's the 3D Jaws, and today's new future can change the future is an ad for US Times, and then it's like the ad for the trilogy that came out for the 25th anniversary or whatever.
Yeah.
But then there's like the real stuff. There's like the Obama story in there and stuff like that. So that just shows you the real edition that came out. So yeah, it's like a fun little.
Hello. Oh, hello. Sorry.
So it was a fun little piece of memorabilia for Back to the Future fans, and I love it.
That's awesome.
That's
really cool.
That's my Back to the Future moment for this episode. Welcome to Back to the Future Curious.
I dig it. That's another great trilogy too.
It is, and like that's the one where, like, I mean, Zemeckis and Gale for years said we'll never remake it, we'll never do a sequel, blah blah blah. But I'm terrified for the day they pass away, because I know people are going to try to get their greasy hands on it and try to remake it. I'm like, never touch it, because it doesn't make sense. Because I mean, 2015. I mean, Zemeckis and Gale got stuff right. For like, we have Zoom calls now. Like, look how we're recording this, and back then you had frickin' Flea, like, what's going on, McFly, and then the set, you fire him through a fax and stuff. But it's just perfect. And 2015 was very different, obviously, in real life. But just don't touch those films. They Telltale came out with like a game that was like the events after 3, which was fine. It was fun to play through that, which I recommend to anybody listening. Go look up.
I'll do a YouTube playthrough.
Yeah, Telltale's Back to the Future. It's an interesting story. It takes place after the events of 3, and it's pretty cool. But yeah,
I dig it. I'll have to check that out. I didn't know. I thought it was covering the movies, but if it adds a little bit of 3.5, I'll take it.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of lore. It's like the Star Wars extended universe, like the Back to the Future extended universe almost. But yeah. Anyways, enough about that Back to the Future stuff.
Well, I've got a transition in that.
Ooh.
The time machine is a car. We get a car ride very similar to On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Yes.
Where this our white main character is being held in a car, kind of held hostage in a car of mostly foreigners. And a black man is holding him at knife point. That's what he says. Like, could you put that away? I think we'd all be more comfortable if you put that away. That's from Majesty's, not from this film. But yeah, and also that's another Christmas film.
Yep. I just watched it this past Christmas.
Same.
Ooh.
You watched it on Christmas?
Not on Christmas, like the month leading up. I was like, what should we watch next? The Santa Claus or Jingle All the Way? I'm like, I'm going to watch Magic.
Yeah, I watched it a couple
of
days.
And that has got angry, because that movie always gets me angry, because I hate the scene of Bond in his office going through all the old like gadgets and stuff from past movies, and you hear like the behind the scenes, you see like the music from the past films and stuff, and it's like, that could have been Sean.
Right.
Makes me upset.
But I love Lazenby for that film. He's great. And we'll get into the Lazenby list in a few years, I'm sure.
Lazenby list.
What else we got? Yeah, Diana Rigg in vaguely Christmas films. The golf scene. I did like I'll see you at the first tee. Or I'm sorry, I'll see you at the first green. Tee. Before we play. No, the first tee. The green is what we aim for. There's some good quotes in that.
Yes.
Yeah, the theme song we hear in the golf game. I got a Connery quote, a Sean says Connery quote. Show me the man who's content, and I'll show you the lobotomy scar. That was good. And then my notes become kind of sparse from there. Why did they switch clothes? Why did they switch underwear? And then Diana Rigg. Why is Diana Rigg there? She's like, I'll go with you. It'll make more sense if I'm with you. I get that because it's a man and his wife.
Well, that, and it's kind of like she's trying to get alone with him.
Yeah.
She wants to get away from her husband, and she wants a piece of Leafy's leaf.
So actually, yeah, and Leafy's pretty clever because he uses that as an opportunity to get away from Adekunle. Because he realizes that. So Adekunle holds basically because Leafy sleeps with Adekunle's wife. Adekunle takes him out and brings him to a field, and he goes, I own this field. I want to put things here like a school and a conference center and a swimming pool. But Dr. Alex Murphy is blocking that proposal with his veto, and if you can offer him $100,000 to say yes on my proposal, and that's what leads to the golf game. Leafy offers the $100,000 so that Murray can get a nice place in Portugal. And Murray sees right through it, and he's like, no, don't. I'm not helping these dictator assholes, and you shouldn't either. You should get out of here. And by the end of the movie, Leafy has kind of realized, like, I am in the wrong game. Adekunle is like, well, then offer him $200,000. And Leafy goes, Murray is incorruptible. You're not going to win him. And Adekunle goes, okay, well, then don't invest in your future because it probably won't be very long. And he keeps threatening to kill him. And also it doesn't help that Leafy slept with his wife.
Mm.
But he sees an opportunity to get away by running out into this chaos. Like, yeah, he's going to get himself killed, or he very well could get himself killed. He doesn't. But he very well could get himself killed. But he's using it as an opportunity to get away from the dictator who certainly will kill him. So, there's some cleverness there. But there is a big chase through the forest, and I want to cross-cut that with Logan.
Yes. Great film.
And also that chase through the forest and the section when they're crawling on their hands and knees through the grass and whatnot. That's my main answer for where Kennett 007. As they're being shot at and running through the field. And they like end up on their hands and knees crawling through the high grass.
I would say, did you? I thought of Goldfinger, where the end of the DB5.
Oh yes,
car
when
chase.
Jill Masterson is killed with the hat.
Yeah, so like that.
Yes,
the set look at the set, the same set to me.
Yes, I agree with you there.
That's our other Bond connection.
Indeed. So yeah, I think that's where that theme would go. Forgive me. Sorry. So yeah, a couple of Bond connections in that theme, both through that theme, or in that scene, excuse me, both through that theme, linking it up with the Goldfinger scene and the fact that Diana Rigg's there.
Yeah. And the golf, there's two Goldfinger Bond like references with the golf game and with the woods set piece.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like a group of people bearing in on our hero and a woman that is just with him, not our lead woman character, just a woman that is with
just
him
happens
at that
to be
point
there
in the movie. And then she says, "I want our loins to mingle." And they come across they come across a bar where Friday is at, and Friday begins driving them home.
I wrote in my notes TGI Fridays.
That is, he saves their life pretty much. He gets them out of there. Okay, I gotta be honest. One of my nightmares is like being in a car or like a vehicle which is faster than people, but there's so many people that you can't get away from them. And if you can just get away from that group of people, you move fast enough that you can outrun those people. And this movie does that, and then the car breaks down because they've run over a set of caltrops. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That pierce the tires, and then the car starts to break down, and the mob catches up. And that gave me the willies. And then they just blow up the car. They're just like, we don't care if anyone's in it. Blow them up. Oh, my God, there's Fanshawe. Get him. So that was pretty scary, I'm not going to lie. And so once they reach the safety of Friday's friend's bar and Friday's driving them back, they stumble across an accident in the road where an ambulance has been hit. And the driver has been killed, and the passenger in the ambulance was a white man, and he is gravely injured, and he's going to die. And as you said, we get the musical cue that it's Murray, and alas, it is. um, you look bloody ridiculous in that outfit.
Last words.
And then he dies, yeah. Also, Connery's good at playing dead. We said that in First Night. He's good at playing
he
dead.
is.
He's very good at just eyes open, completely still while other people are moving
He
around.
somehow makes his eyes die. You could see the life come out of his eyes.
And they just stone solid. He does not move. And I'm not watching because you see the paramedic's hand move next to him, and it's just like,
Yeah, no freeze frame. Like that's 100% Connery at his best.
he's a damn good actor.
Hell yeah.
Do you think Adekunle had Murray killed?
Oh.
Because the cop that pulls the cop that stops them at the site of the accident, he starts to give them shit, and then Diana Rigg says, "We were at the victory celebration of your president," and the cop says, "Okay, never mind then. I'm sorry I gave you shit." And that's when Leafy goes, "What's happened here?" And the cop explains the situation. So maybe they're on the side of Adekunle. It seems like most people are anyway. Hazel is. Hazel's going to vote for him.
That would make sense. Yeah.
Because it was just that one vote keeping him from setting up his businesses, his conference center and swimming pool. Do you think he had Adekunle killed? Do you think that was like a hit?
I think so, because I feel like I think so.
Somebody ran the ambulance off the road.
Yeah, because I feel like I don't know, because I feel like you wouldn't just do that as a story beat, but like they don't explain it either. So
this film doesn't get into a lot of the dark aspects of things.
I wonder if the novel does.
Maybe. Would you read the novel?
I think a part of me would like at least the end. I'm curious about that. But I think I would maybe that could be an extra we could do down the line where we revisit this film, but the novel side of it. And
if any of these films based on books are so compelling that we feel we should read the book,
I would.
I'm sure there's a lot of them. Like Hunt for Red October is a book.
And you know what? I've always
Shalako was a book.
Sorry. And as much of a Bond fan I am, I haven't really read the novels, so I would like to compare those, because we hear from one of our favorite podcasts, James Bonding, dip into the novel sometimes, be like, this happened, this, and I'm like always so curious. I'm like Connery curious of
and same with the James Bond and Friend podcast. They I feel like they are very educated in the book. I feel like everyone there has read the books and can reference them real quick.
Yeah, so that might be a side assignment when we do hit these Connery Bond flicks. Maybe we read some passages through the novels and see some comparisons.
Yeah,
because I am interested.
I'm pretty sure I gave you 1 year for your birthday. I gave you a couple of the audiobooks, right?
I don't think so. No,
I think I gave them to you on a hard drive or a flash drive or something.
Oh, that's right. I think you do. I gotta find that.
Yeah. I think there's a handful of them. I don't think I was able to put them all on there. But yeah, because I have some of the audiobooks.
Oh, I tracked that down then. Good Lord. So that's it. And I guess we're closing in at the end of A Good Man in Africa. What any final closing thoughts before we get to our reviews?
So the final scene, he embraces his need to just be a good person. He doesn't want to work in the government anymore. It's the only scene where we really don't see him in a suit or nice. He's wearing a nice outfit, but it's civilian. It's casual.
Yeah. He really becomes a good man in Africa.
No, he's on the road to being a good man, I think.
But I think he is definitely following,
Connery's advice.
So I think he's becoming he is eventually becoming a good man in Africa.
Yeah. So he shows up and he gives Innocence is the name of the maid who is struck by lightning, and her sister's name is Idioma, which means language. I did like that line. Innocence is dead. Like we're all guilty of original sin? Is that No, the maid. Like that was very
which is
clever.
also the second clip we see in the trailer.
Yes. Well, right after we see Innocent's death.
See it.
Which not a good way to start the trailer. I realize that this film has a lot of weird, convoluted plots, but I would have sold this film. I would have completely misled people with the trailer and sold it on the, on the IMDb description where he sleeps with Adekunle's wife, and now Adekunle has leverage over him and makes him, all right, go take out Dr. Alex Murray and convince him to offer him this money and convince him to vote for this, and like play on that. And our reveal to the very good man is that he has to play golf with him, and it turns out, oh, he's not very good at golf. And then then the comedy comes from that. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, my final note. The tears and rain. So he shows up and gives Idioma the money to have the priest do the service. But the priest is already there. He's already there. And the second that... Okay, so the last lines are like, "You are a good man. You think so? Well, better late than never." Like, shut up, dude. You got a compliment, just take it and move on. Say thank you and move on. I could have learned that earlier in this podcast when you complimented my music video. I'm like, really? Do tell. No, shut up, Titus. See, I'm learning for myself. Better late than never. But anyway, as soon as he gets in his car and drives off, then the priest starts dancing, they play the drums, and the ceremony begins. But the priest was just waiting there the whole time. Be like, no money, no service. Sorry. All right, you got the money. Now I'll do it. Like, yeah, I thought that was.
I'm
goofy.
running a business here. Come on.
Exactly. Yeah. What do you think this is? Some kind of religion?
He's like he's like a sound guy. He's like, no, these lights don't go on till I get my money.
Wait, you're the sound guy.
Yes. Never mind that. Like, how about the sound? Oh, I'm not here for that.
And the light guy is like, you won't hear a thing until I'm paid. We're brothers, you see.
This is our business. I'm Paul Sound, and this is Jake Lights.
Jake Lights.
Beautiful. But all right, man. I think...
All right, yeah, I think this wraps it up for this film for us, or at least in terms of our notes.
Yeah, so I think we go into our... If you guys know it already, you know at the end of each Connery film, we like to give our score of the film and our score of Connery himself.
And we just did a little reorganizing, so I think we've got a couple of other things in here. Let's just cover the segments that we've got here. Because we do definitely rate it, but I just want to make sure we got everything covered. So, would you recommend this to somebody else? Would you show somebody else this film? And if so, who would you recommend it to? Who's the kind of person in your life that would enjoy this film? I would say I can't recommend this film to anybody. I liked it a little bit, but I don't think I could recommend this to anyone, and they would enjoy it, and they'd be like, thanks for showing me this, Dylan. Yeah,
I think I would only recommend it if you're, I guess, a Connery fan. I'd be like, hey, just so you know, he did this. He did we don't know yet, I guess, but he's very few comedies. He's in a comedy, and he's very funny in this. So I would maybe suggest to someone who likes Sean Connery. But other than that, I wouldn't say, like, you should go see A Good Man in Africa. It's a good film. I would only recommend it to our listeners who are listening to us speak about this film. But other than that...
And I would recommend it to somebody who really likes John Lithgow.
Okay.
Like, I'm a big Lithgow fan. I like seeing him ham it up. Okay, watch Good Man in Africa. He's being hammy. Which also I want to bring up another note I forgot to write down. There is a scene, it's poorly musically scored, but there's a scene where he's like panicking. And he's like, I'll be I'll be kicked out of Her Majesty's government. I'll be forced to stay here and spend my days drinking and with lubricious women. And he's like, he goes from panic attack to being like, might not be that bad. Oh my! Like it's well played, but then the music underneath it totally undercuts how good Lithgow's performance is. Because it's like music that as he he lists like 5 things, and the first 3 are like not great. The 4th is like good, and then the 5th one is like pretty good. But the music the whole time is swelling as if everything he's listing is exciting. And it's poorly timed, and it was like just take that music out and let John Lithgow's acting reveal itself to you. So the music doesn't help this film in a lot of spots.
Yeah.
Music, sounds of Africa. A good man in Africa knows what's good for you and me. So yeah, you wouldn't recommend this?
Probably
to anyone?
not.
Yeah, neither would I. Okay, we got our Sean Says Connery quotes. We got plenty of those out of the way. All right, so I recently turned it into a 0 to 10 scale. Does the SH in this film?
And I would say yes. It's the early SHing, I believe.
I feel like this would be in the period where the SH would be very prominent, but on a scale of 0 to 10, I give it a 4. It's not that prominent in this film.
Not that bad. I feel like the only time you really get distracted by his accent is the Gonacockle. Gonacockle, because like at the end of some of those Gonacockles, you could tell he's probably like he might have like was laughing a little bit in the takes.
Questioned if he said it right.
And like I assume I wonder if there's a blooper reel out somewhere. I'm sure he like got through that word like 10 times before a good take.
Non-Gonacockle.
Condugulus.
Here's to the operational Gonacockle.
I'm willing to bet because he was such a professional actor that... Oh, sorry, I got the hiccups. That he probably had that thing down to a T. And he showed up on the ball with that line ready to go.
Yeah. So I'll agree with you. I think the S is being aged or at a 4. It was not that insane yet. This is 94. So, yeah, because First Night is 95.
95, yeah.
And those are pretty aged in that one.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it's like, I don't know, because that's the whole thing, is he's playing a Scottish person in this. So it's like, it's not like he has to hide his accent like in James Bond, like early Bonds, where he had to like really lean on trying to be British.
And I wonder if it's also a factor that he doesn't have that much dialogue in the movie.
Yeah.
He's like I said, he's only in about a quarter of this film.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And he's really playing the straight man. He's letting where Leafy is often the straight man in the situation, he becomes the goof when he's with Connery. Connery becomes a straight man. Also, another note on the voiceover. The voiceover cuts off one of Connery's lines. When you dip your wick, you're going to get infected, and then he keeps talking, and the voiceover cuts off it. It's like, why do I feel the need to strangle Dr. Murray? And it cuts off a whole one of his lines, and then like awkwardly fades back into Leafy going, wait a second, I don't have to listen to you. You're not my father. It's weird. Like, why would you, unless Connery flubbed that line?
Maybe. I'd have to listen back. Maybe there's an issue there.
Rewatch this film.
Yeah, I would say if you've seen it already, rewatch it.
It just out of curiosity.
Connery curiosity.
Really. It's a curiosity of a film. It really is. Especially given that the director said that he hated making it.
And I do have it open here. Oh, we didn't really talk about Rotten Tomato scores.
Yeah,
Tomato Meter gave it a 10%.
Oof.
And audience score was at a 27%.
Oof. It's got a 5 out of 10 on IMDb. I feel like 5 is more appropriate.
Hmm.
But now we're talking about that. Shall we get into the ratings proper?
Let's hit it.
What are you giving this film, Mario?
Probably. I was leaning 5, but I think I'll give it a 6 just because I did enjoy like a lot of the film. Where it's like, again, half my notes were quotes and just memorable quotes, I feel. And I just thought it was fine. Not the best. It's not like I didn't, it's not like I couldn't tolerate this film. It was just like some weird choices were made, I feel. And I think we say this a lot. I probably could have recut this film. I feel like some cuts could have been made. Take out the fucking voiceover and just clean it up a little bit.
And the music is not great.
Yeah,
And that horrible credits font.
Yes.
At the beginning, that horrible
it was
90s
like
font.
Cool Runnings. It was like the beginning of it was the same credit font as Cool Runnings.
Hold on, let me give that a goose.
It gets weird to see Sean Connery's name in the Cool Runnings.
Oh my god, yeah, it really is. Yeah, with the wavy lines. Oh my god, it really is the Cool Runnings font. Oh my gosh.
That's the exact Cool Runnings font.
Oh my gosh, which was a year before.
Oh, look at that. Hey, maybe that's...
Also, upon Googling, Kinjanja, Angola, it's a mountain. Kinjanja is a mountain in Angola that has an elevation of 482 meters.
Really?
Yes. Because it's not a place, it's a mountain. Well, I mean, it is a place, but it's not a country, excuse me.
But yeah, so I'm gonna hit it with solid. I'll give it a 6.
You're giving it a 6. Alrighty, I'm putting that into our sheet. I was... Okay, so... Yesterday I gave... Or not yesterday. 2 days ago when I watched it, I gave it a 4. And the very fact that I rewatched it today at work must mean there's something to it. I'm going to give it a 5.
Okay.
I'm matching IMDb. I'm going to give it a 5.
All right.
So you gave it a 6. I gave it a 5. Now we move on to our second rating of the night. Our rating of Sean Connery, the man himself.
Ooh, yes.
What are you giving him, my friend?
I gotta hit him with a 9.5, easy money, because I really thought he was fantastic. Because like the films we've gone through, Dylan, he was a piece of shit. We didn't enjoy him, and it was this film and Cuba, which we speculated it's probably the same character. So I'm.
Robert Dapes, the old Dape trick.
That was our trick. Our Dape trick was in this film.
He tricked us that he was not Robert Dapes.
we saw right through you, Sean. So yeah, I think 9.5. I thought he's perfect.
Wait a second. He was working for the government. He worked for governments. Do you think maybe he was a secret agent? Robert Dapes was not his name.
Yeah, you think
maybe Alex Murray was his real identity,
or maybe
or one they set him up with.
He just changes his name. He has different names in different countries. Fuck. We're on to something here.
Yeah.
So yeah, 9.5. I just thought he was great in this. I really enjoyed every scene with him. He was a heartwarming character. Like he made me feel good. Like he was fantastic. So
especially because he's a doctor, his job is to do that.
Dr. Feelgood, man. So I'm gonna give Dr. Feelgood here a 9.5.
I dig it. Well, my highest Connery is 9.5 for The Man Who Would Be King, and I feel like I can't give him higher than that. And I gave him a 9 for First Night and a 9 for Cuba. We both gave him 9s for Cuba. I think I'm going to give him a 9 for this.
Right.
Because he is really good in this, but I'd want more of him. And granted, his character has a huge impact on the plot as a whole, but I wanted more of him.
Same.
Roger Moore
of him.
So, all right, just to recap one more time. A Good Man in Africa, 1994. for film ranking, you gave it a 6. I gave it a 5. For Sean Connery ranking, you gave it a 9.5. I gave it a 9. Would you recommend it to anyone?
Probably only our listeners here are Connery curious, because I can't. Yeah, thinking about it, I couldn't. It's just like, it's fine, but it's not like I feel like I would be doing them this service.
Yeah, I agree with you. And if there is anyone that feels the need to watch it twice.
Yeah, you're going to want to.
It would only take you 3 hours. So.
Subtitles are important in this as well. We didn't really mention subtitles. Probably. I mean, I watch in this day and age. I watch a lot of stuff with closed captions on, anyways, just because of whatever.
And it's just because of thick accents, I'd say.
Yeah, and you lose like story aspects and what the fuck is happening. So yeah, I would recommend that. So there it is. So
that's it. That was A Good Man in Africa.
Good Man in Africa. So Dylan, you know what time it is?
Oh my gosh. I hate to sound like coming is the best part of sex, but this has been almost 2 hours of foreplay here, and it has been some of the most delightful foreplay. But I think it's time we blow our load here.
It's time, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of each episode, we go to the Wheel of Curiosities.
A Wheel of Curiosities.
To see what our next film is going to be. And as you guys have noticed, we have still yet to hit a Bond film, which is super interesting. So is it?
Fingers crossed that we get a Bond film.
Because every week it gets more and more likely. So this could be the week, Dylan. So I believe it's your turn this week to spin the wheel.
My turn?
So
okay, well, let me share my screen.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Oh my Lord! I'm so excited, Mario. I'm so excited. All right, I'm gonna hand you back to. Okay, are we ready? Can you see the screen?
I can see the Wheel of Curiosities.
All right, I'm just gonna make sure I'm still recording here. All good, all copacetic. All right, shall we say it at the same time?
As always.
Wheel of Curiosities. The Molly Maguires!
Oh.
Which means, my friend, we've got our first guest.
Ooh.
Currently, we are recording episode number 8, which means that next episode will be number 9, but technically it'll be our 10th episode. So, 10th episode celebration, we got a guest.
This is perfect. I'm excited. Let's take a look real quick at 1970s drama history, The Molly Maguires, starring Sean Connery, Richard Harris, the original Dumbledore. This is going to be cool.
What a cast.
And it's also another film where Connery has a mustache.
Oh,
a very thick one.
Oh, and Anthony Zerbe, a future Bond actor.
Oh.
Not as Bond, but he's in License to Kill. He gets his head blown
That's
off.
right.
It's great.
Oh, man.
Spoilers, sorry.
Spoilers for that's it. We haven't done Dalton Curious yet, so.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
fucking
this movie.
Great news, Dylan, because according to Rotten Tomatoes, tomato meter of 90%.
Oh, awesome.
Audience score is a 62,
Excellent.
but that's okay. That's average-ish. It's not bad. It's not dipping under 30 as we've been lately.
I was reading on this very Wikipedia page earlier when I was researching these films. James Wong Howe is the cinematographer, and he is considered one of the great cinematographers of all time, was one of the most sought-after cinematographers in Hollywood due to his innovative filming techniques, known as a master of the use of shadow and the first to use deep focus cinematography in which both foreground and distant planes remain in focus. And he was alive up in 1899 to 1976, and he was very sought after. So this is probably going to be a beautiful looking film too.
Oh yeah,
I'm excited. This is going to be this is going to be great.
This is going to be cool. I can't wait. So yeah, our first First film featuring a guest on the show. This is a monumental moment for Connery Curious here.
Fingers crossed that it goes through.
Yes, fingers crossed, but we should be all good. So yeah, I guess that's it. And I guess that's going to do it for us here at Connery Curious. Again, thank you for joining us. The support's been great so far, guys. Of course, you guys know.
Thank you again.
Of course, you guys know, hit us up at all the socials at Connery Curious for other fun video memes and other references. And
we've been putting up some good stuff lately.
Oh man, it's been a lot of fun. That's why those recording the show is always fun, but I'm always more excited to see those videos getting put together, and they're just a blast.
I gotta be honest, dude. My favorite time each week is spinning the wheel. That's my favorite thing that I look forward to. Obviously, all this conversation is like, it's my dopamine that I need, but the wheel is like the part I look forward to the most, because like it's the anticipation.
Yeah, the dopamine hit is crazy with the wheel. It's like gambling. It's like so exhilarating. It's just like it's so good, but.
And the tension, because we know we want a Bond film, but the universe is like going, no, boys, no. You need to get out of you need to grow up a little bit here, boys. You need to get out of your Bond pajamas and put on a big boy suit for a little bit, and then you can come wear your Bond pajamas again.
We gotta pay our dues here.
Exactly. And I'm not knocking us as Bond fans. I feel like it's the universe going like, branch out a little bit, boys.
Yeah, and we have been so far, man. I think so far in these 9 episodes, we've
had adventure films, medieval films, sword and sorcery fantasy films,
Western. Like, we've been very
Westerns, actions. We had a political thriller. We had a spy film, a wonky as hell spy film. And this one today, which was a comedy drama, quote unquote.
We've been, I think, very well educated so far in Connery's line of work. So we hope you guys are enjoying the adventure as much as we are. This has been super fun.
And now we're in for a historical drama.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to close out that little tab in my.
Oh yeah, no worries.
Is this our first historical drama? Like Cuba, maybe.
Yeah, Cuba was kind of there, and I mean,
because that's based on real events.
And First Night.
Yeah. Did any of that happen?
Yeah, I mean, did King Arthur have to take a poop and while making the roast?
Well, that definitely happened. That was documented.
In Connery Curious canon, that really
Marty
happened.
McFly, we've got this letter for you. Turns out King Arthur had to poop. He needed you to know on this night.
On the night?
The first night.
Doc, on the night I go back.
You poop your pants.
And your wife is cheating on you, but also...
Don't cook that roast.
Have somebody watch it for you. You will burn the roast.
Go pay attention to your wife.
All right, man.
Which is, what's a shame in that movie is he really loves his wife.
He does.
Earlier in the film, he's like, you sure you want to marry me? Like, you totally don't have to. Like, I'll protect your kingdom whether you want to or not. You don't have to marry me. She's like, no, trust me, dude. I love you. I'm going to marry you. So it makes it even more heartbreaking when he sees her cheating on him.
It is.
And it makes it even more heartbreaking for her because she's like, we didn't have to get married and I kind of insisted on it. I'm awful. And he's like, we didn't have to get married and you insisted on it and this is what I opened the door to find.
Ugh.
You really feel for him in that movie.
You do. Tragic.
And that was the other film in which he dies.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. He dies in Avengers too.
Yes.
But he's not given his honor. And he dies in Man Who Would Be King. All right. Oh my God. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 4 out of 8 films. So half of the films we've seen him in, he dies.
Holy shit.
The Man Who Would Be King, he dies. The first night, he dies. The Avengers, he dies. And now A Good Man in Africa.
That'll be our thing. We have to tally up how many times he dies.
No. It does the Sean die?
Do we count the fake death in You Only Live Twice?
Do we?
No.
No.
We'll put a 0.5 for that one.
Yeah, I'm down for that. This was a blast, dude. As it is every week.
Always. So, guys, thank you guys for joining us here at Connery Curious. I've been Mario Lima.
And I've been Dylan Titus.
And we'll see you guys next week. And be sure to stay curious.
Stay curious, folks. Good night.
We're going to eat some strawberries off each other's stomachs, and you're going to perform Faludio on me. I'm going to return the favor with a modest amount of condugulus.
Really?
If you go around indiscriminately dipping your wick, you get infected.
Connery Curious.
You've been listening to Connery Curious, a Titus Compositions and Friggin' Nerds media production. For more content, be sure to follow us on various forms of social media by searching Connery Curious. Be sure to rate and review the show wherever fine podcasts are downloaded.